Episode 2, we're going to build the sound well, bend the sides. We're going to start we're going to start soldering in the sound well to the top, and we're going to solder the top into the sides, and that's going to be episode 2. Now, we're going to start on the neck. I know. If we don't start on the neck now, then episode 3 is going to be a 24-hour time lapse of glue drying. So I'm going to glue up this neck plank, get it drying, so episode 3 isn't just crazy boring. Let's go. If you were wondering what all that nonsense was about, I am trying to save a few bucks on the neck wood. Now, I'm not going cheap and skimping out. It's just, and this black walnut's expensive. I'm not kidding. So I'm hoping to get 3 pieces of this neck out of that one board, which means I kind of had to lay it out, do a lot of figuring to see if I can get the 3 pieces I need out of it, so I don't have to cut up a whole nother board. They're more than $100 a board, so a little bit pricey. So this is going to be a vertically laminated neck. It's kind of a 5-piece, sort of kind of like this verticals. Here's some of the layout work. So that's how I'm going to get 2 pieces out of this one board. This hole in the middle is so my bandsaw blade can make it through here and up and then back through there, because I'm going to be using a pretty fat bandsaw blade on here. I don't have the little thin one on my saw and I'm too lazy to change it, so I drilled a hole there to hopefully make that turn easily enough. We'll see how that goes. We are coming together quite nicely. They're matching up pretty well. These are much larger than they need to be in the end anyway, so I've got a lot of room for tune-up and clean-up, and those 2 came out great. So there's the first 2 pieces. Now I got to make a third. happy with that. Again, these are bigger than they need to be, so all the little inconsistencies will be fixed up when we glue this thing up and do the final kind of shaping and sanding and all of that. And then this thing will be almost be a neck. We're gonna have to do a bunch of work in here to get the sound well to sit in there. There's a lot of detail that's still got to go into this thing, but for now we're going to get this blank glued up and things are going to be looking good on the neck. One more thing I forgot, this maple will be in between these two. If I don't rip this middle one down to be thinner, then those maple ones are going to be too far to the outside of the neck, and when we carve this neck, you don't want the maple to end up showing through on the side. You want to keep the stripes in the middle there. I don't think it would look that good with the maple being on the sides, you know, both sides of this being that thick. Well, I'm a little bit out of room in here now. I was hoping to glue up the, no, not glue up. I was hoping to bend up the sound well and get that all done and ready, but I don't have any room left to work. I gotta wait for this glue up for on the neck to dry. Now I'm gluing it up in several parts at a time because, man, sometimes when you try and glue these things up all as one, it's just chaos. Like, I call it glubrication because the glue just acts like greased ice. Trying to walk on greased ice, it just makes all the pieces of wood go everywhere in every which direction. So it's easier to just do one piece to one piece at a time because you can get it all lined up right and get it all good to go. This neck glue up is taking way longer on this video than I would have ever thought. All that stuff I said we were going to do at the beginning just may not happen because this neck glue up is taking up too much time, and this video would be 59.7 minutes long, and nobody wants that. So I don't know, we'll see. We are going to get to some metal work. We are going to do the sound well, get that thing bent up, and I'd really like to get to soldering in this episode, but I don't want this thing to just drag on and on and on. I wonder what Dan Earlwine's doing today. Probably some 1930s Martin or something cool like that. I don't know. I bet he's not doing something like this. He ain't building no resonator, I know that. It's awesome. It's fantastic. Okay, next one. All right, we are done with that neck blank glue up, and that took me forever. I thought I was just going to glue together 5 rectangle pieces of wood and then cut out the shape, but that was going to be incredibly wasteful. That's why that turned into such a long segment, because I had to really lay it out and cut out those pieces. The last piece is gluing up. People are probably, well, I mean, nobody watches this channel, but people are probably freaking out that I just have clamps going straight to the wood. If you do your prep work really well and get all your wood pieces perfect and everything's ready to go together nice, you don't need to be breaking blood vessels and, you know, getting lightheaded, cranking those clamps down to get a good glue up. Like, they don't need a ton of pressure. They just need a little bit of pressure so that the glue can heat up and do what it does. And man, if you guys are having to crank these clamps down and make big dents in your wood, your prep work wasn't good enough. That's what I have to say about that. If it drives you crazy that I don't have anything on that to protect the wood, well, that's how I work, is what it is. All right, so we're gonna get going on this sound well now. At the time I'm recording this, I can already predict what's gonna happen because I've already done it. We're gonna make a sound well. Why do YouTubers say we? I mean, hello? Yeah, it's just me. I'm gonna make a sound well. I'm not gonna like it. It's gonna come out fine, it's gonna look good, but I feel like I can do better. And anytime I feel like I can do better and I don't go back and redo it, then I just don't like the guitar. If there's anything in your mind where you're like, yeah, that works, but is it perfect? No, just redo it. So that's what's gonna happen right now. I'm gonna make the first one and you guys can watch it now, unless you fast forward through it all, which you probably will. You ever wonder why it is you do what you do? Yeah, me either. Okay, this is a piece that's going to make up the sound well, and so what you can see I've got going here is on one side of it, these curves are a 1/2 inch space because when you bend it in a circle, these ones will bend out. These ones have to bend in, and so I cut them at 1/4. I may, when I start bending this thing, I may find that I have to make little V's in every one of these, which will be a bummer if I do, but it may happen, and it may be once I bend it that tight they'll just hit each other and that won't work out. So now we just got to bend them over. One goes one way, one goes the other way. Well, this side attaches to the body, this side has the ring that the cone sits in, and you'll see how that comes together. Let's do that again, but let's do it better this time. I've got all the tools right here. I'm getting ready to do that. To make a sound well, I'm going to I've got a little mark on this buck, a little black mark on the bottom of it there. I'll stick it on the sheet and I'll roll the buck along there until I get the length of it, and I'll cut it off a little long for good measure. I'll measure out all those little tick marks. All right, let's get to work. A little bit worried about metal in the eye, so my son's going to be super stoked when he sees that I found his motocross goggles to save my life. Carry on. This is so much better than the other one. At this point with the other one, I kind of already knew I was going to make another one because I wasn't happy with the quality. This is so much better. Now, a couple things that are different. One is I got a thicker steel to make it out of. The other stuff I thought was a little flimsy, and I was worried about the cone resting on these lips here and just these not being strong enough to hold the string tension and all that kind of stuff. And then I also made the entire strip a little fatter so that these bendovers would be quite a bit bigger. I can already tell I'm going to have a problem with these ones when I bend this way. You know, it's going to bend like that these corners are probably going to hit. I might as well just go ahead and V those now. That's going to be a no. Where's the other one? So the other one, a couple things I wasn't happy with, like, I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera. Well, one, you can see how much shorter these little curves are than the new one. The new one's quite yeah. Anyway, the new one's quite a bit wider. Same with these ones. They're quite a bit bigger on the new one. I think that one's probably way more obvious, right? The new ones are okay, not a lot bigger, but they are bigger. I swear they're big. Oh, here's part of what I hated about this one. Look how small it got right around here where I tacked it together. Like, what the heck happened there, dude? I just wasn't super thrilled with this one, but I wanted to carry through and finish it just to finish it and see what I thought and what I wanted to do different and so on and so forth. Now I figured that out, and I can tell already this one's going to be way better. Now, the other thing different I'm going to do on this one is the last time I used that metal ring, you saw me, and I rolled it on the inside of the metal ring. I mean, that worked okay with this thin stuff. I think obviously steel likes to be drawn over things more than it likes to be kinked into stuff. So I'm going to roll this one over the buck, and that's what all these holes are for, so you can get your clamps in here. Dang, all my clamps are being used to glue up a neck blank right now. That took 207 hours. Okay, well, I might have a few clamps. Oh, look, you just never have enough clamps. That's the saying, right? It just doesn't matter how many you have. There's never enough. Okay, quit talking. Let's get to work. Okay, for reals, I'm out of clamps. We're on hold for a little bit. Maybe a sandwich. Yeah. Okay, I think the second sound well was a success. I'm happy with it. It came out really nice. The thicker steel made a huge difference for me. It was really easy to tack it together on the end there. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know. Happy with this. I think I'm going to wrap this video with that being done for now. I've made a lot of progress beyond just this ring, and so I'll be showing that in episode 3 pretty quickly. I think it's going to come out quick. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.